What's the last thing you read?
Last thing I read? Probably like something like Men's Health or whatnot about like running.
Interesting.
I've been seeing a lot of run club content recently. And so I'm like, maybe that's something to get into. Maybe that's my next step in life.
Yeah. Become a runner.
Maybe. Do you run?
No, I have brothers that do. One's running in college right now.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I've never done sport in my life.
Really?
Yeah, only ever done artsy stuff.
Okay.
I've done like kayaking and snowboarding and wakeboarding and like that, but never like a team sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like in ways that's like more physically demanding than like a team sport sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I did marching band, and people would joke about that being a sport, but no. You get graded and judged, and you go to competitions, but it's not the same. You're not like running at each other, you know, like it's a bit different.
Yeah. Funny enough, I did debate in high school.
Nice.
And we had some of like the extra nerdy people like talking about whether or not debate was a sport.
That's funny.
And then they would debate about whether or not debate was a sport, and I'm just like, I think we're a little too far into it. I think we've lost the plot altogether.
Yeah. Lane, is debate a sport?
Hey man, they make anything a sport now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about to talk here and just introduce you on the radio, so give me 1 sec.
You're good, bro.
Okay, let's do just a quick one. What mic is that? Mic 2. Sorry. All right. Yo, what? Oh, I'm peeking. All right. Yo, what's up, Tennessee? How we doing today? And sorry we're a little bit late today. We had a little bit of a couple sound issues, but we're rocking and rolling now. Excited to be here. And this is SoundCheck every Wednesday, coming at you with some interviews. And today we've got Steven and Ghost, or Stevie, and we're really excited to have him on. You can go ahead and introduce yourself. You can fix the mic there.
You can bring the mic to you too.
Oh, you do? Cool.
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah, or you can like take the capsule and point it at your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Whatever works, man.
Stevie.
Just so the radio people hear you.
I go by the artist name Steven and Ghost, and yeah, I'm super stoked to be out here. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course,
man. Yeah, we're super excited too. All right, it sounds great on the radio.
Sick.
Cool.
So yeah, what's going on, man? Tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Okay. All right. I was born at a very young age. But no. So originally I was homeschooled, and
Me too.
I spent a lot of time by myself. I spent a lot of time on YouTube, like watching people make music, and I was like, man, what if I could make that into a career? And so originally the plan was to go to Belmont. I thought I was going to be, I want to say like a songwriting or something major. And I was like, that's going to be my in. That's how I'm going to learn so much about the industry. And then on the same week that I toured Belmont, I ended up touring MTSU.
Wow.
And so like, it was within the same day. My dad was just like, all right, this other school's having tours. We're going to that too. So I go there, and it's like night and day. And I was like, this is the place for me. Like, this is where I gotta be.
What stood out about MTSU versus Belmont?
It just felt so much more homey. I feel like, I don't know, Belmont is super cool, and it feels kind of prestigious in a way. Like, it's a really, really cool campus. But something about MTSU just felt like, like I'm really gonna like learn how to do this stuff here. And I feel like I do, like being audio production versus songwriting, I feel like I've learned a ton about like
Heck yeah.
how to do everything that it is I do.
You are audio production, not songwriting, right?
Yeah, I'm audio production and music business.
Oh, you're a dual major?
Oh yeah, double major.
Man.
Wow, that's multitasking for real.
Thank you. I just could not decide what facet of the industry I wanted to get into, so I was like, let me learn about all of it. Rather have a degree I don't necessarily use than like not have one that I want to use.
Yeah, that's funny. That's kind of the same mindset I have. Like I'd rather have a degree in something, even if I don't use the degree, at least it's in something I'm interested in and it helps me get into the space I'm interested in. But it's better than having like a degree in something that I'm not interested in that I'll never use.
Oh yeah.
But being like the dual major and stuff, do you think that Do you think it's difficult? You're the second dual major I've talked to recently. My friend Jacob's also a dual major, and I was just wondering, like, what is that like? Is it really double the workload? I mean, I know you come out of here with 2 degrees, but how do you make that really all happen? Because I feel stressed myself as a student already, and I can't imagine having dual majors right now.
Oh yeah, being that I'm trying to graduate within the next year or so, it's a lot. I'm stressed all the time, but I feel like, okay, so the way that my advisor explained it to me, and I'm not sure if this is like the benchmark, because like they're making new majors and minors in our field like right as we speak. But what my advisor told me was that if I do 2 majors, I can't do a minor, and a lot of the like prerequisite classes kind of cross over. So a lot of just like the basic laws, like copyright stuff, the basics of like sound.
Like a lot of the candidacy courses sort of things?
Yeah, a lot of that crosses over. And so then I just don't have a ton of like elective courses. It's all core for everything. So yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was just curious because it just seems like a lot of work, but that is nice. You don't have to take that other minor, and a lot of these courses do kind of go hand in hand. I mean, you're an artist yourself, so are you hoping that with this like music business degree that you can use this to promote yourself or make like Steven and Ghost a bigger artist, or like what was the motivation behind getting both degrees as well?
Okay, yeah. So I love doing music. I love making it for myself. I love making it with other people and for other people. But I also, being that like I'm an artist, I do everything for myself. So like all of the, I guess you could say all of the advertisement is all me, all homegrown. And so all of the distribution, the contracts with producers and stuff, that's all stuff that I do for myself. And so I like being able to know a little bit about every part of the field. So like everything's homegrown.
Awesome.
Yeah. As you've begun to expand across all avenues of the entertainment industry per se, how has your, homegrown cultivation happened from like your actual home to being a student and actually about to graduate? Like, how have you changed as an artist, and how has your sound changed in reflection of your studies?
Okay, yeah. Wow, that's a lot to answer. Let me start with sound, because that's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Being that I was like super sheltered growing up, I didn't have a lot of access to a ton of music growing up. So I had like early 2000s and like 90s gospel. I had Christian contemporary, which doesn't really lend itself to rap. And then
unless you count Lecrae.
Yeah, love him to death. I actually got to meet him once.
Really?
Super nice guy.
Yeah. Who's that?
Lecrae is a like popular CCM rapper.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, big in the Christian hip hop space. Okay. And like getting to college, it was like the whole world opened to me. I got to meet, because one of the things I love about college is the fact that everybody has their own backstory. So like if I talk to my friend about music, I'm talking about like the music that I've discovered having liked similar things since like as long as I can remember. Like I have a discography of stuff that I've liked for my first 18 years going into college, and then they have a whole different one. And they're like, oh, this is a song I liked when I was 5. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. I never had like any connection to that music. So like there's so much to learn. Like having any conversation with anybody, you can learn so much about like their character from music. And I feel like being exposed to a lot more stuff definitely, it shaped me a little bit. I like to do all types of music now because I've been able to see a lot of different types of music, I think.
I relate to your homeschool arc. I didn't go to public school until the second half of 4th grade because my mom was my teacher. Okay. And so, like you, I was really sheltered and like didn't really listen to much outside of contemporary Christian music and whatever was going on in church. And so I remember the first like introduction that I had to pop music and pop culture was That's What I Like by Bruno Mars in let's say
I don't even know,
15,
yeah, I was
14.
Gonna say 2014 or 15.
I was like I think I was in 5th grade. I'm just interested, like, what was your first song that, like, started the, learning curve of the outside world, per se?
Oh, that's, first off, love Burn on Mars. That's an amazing, like, first song to, like,
Yeah, I was going to say,
find.
that's a good way to start.
Yeah,
like,
that's, you started at the top. I remember I was in, like, I want to say 6th or 7th grade, and I listened to that first album by Lil Tecca. It's We Love You, Tecca.
That's one of my favorite Tech albums.
I love it to this day, but I wouldn't say that it's like, I wouldn't say it encapsulates really any field of music. It's just kind of like, it's a rap album of many rap albums in that time. And that was like something I gravitated to. And then from there, I like branched out. I'm like, okay, this is older 2000s rap. This is like 90s, 80s. This is, and then like getting into like newer wave rap, and then like being exposed to like a lot of pop music, a lot of rock music. I really just went through like YouTube, and I would go through the recommended and their music, and I would be like, okay, that looks interesting. And from there, I'm just like finding different songs and adding them to like my, I guess my discography of stuff I like.
Do you have a playlist, or do you just like songs? And then, because I don't have, okay, I have like 3 playlists, but one of them is genuinely just pretty much every song that it's like all rap or like R&B or something. Basically anything that's in that scope that I've liked since 2015. So the playlist has about, I think, about 1,500 songs on it.
Golly.
It's not really a playlist. It's kind of just my liked library, but that's like the only, and then I have like a playlist that's anything but those songs.
Okay.
So I just, like, my friends always make fun of me for it because I think it's like an 80-hour playlist, and I'll just hit shuffle sometimes. But do you have playlists like that?
Sometimes I have some playlists, but truthfully, I think the only time I use a playlist is when I'm with other people. So like, I'll listen to a lot of different stuff back to back. I'll be like, hey Siri, play Amy Winehouse, and then in that same like car ride, Tyler the Creator, and then like, I don't know, Arctic Monkeys or something like that. And then like when I'm with certain people, one thing I like to do that's like my kind of like my love language is I'll make a playlist based off like stuff that I think they like of what I like, and I'll be like, okay, this is what we'll listen to together. This is what I think will meld well for the two of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Has that opened you up into like new music tastes and genres that you hadn't heard before?
Oh, for sure. I like to say that I'm a listener of everything. I don't think that that's entirely true. But just being around different people and hearing different artists that they like it's amazing to me. I feel like it allows me to have a better view of the music I make, being that like all the genres kind of borrow from each other. So I think to be a good rapper, you can't just listen to rap. Like I feel like you'll pigeonhole yourself into a sound. So as of recently, I've been trying like not to listen to a ton of rap, trying to see what genres I can pull from to make my music a little bit different. Yeah.
I think that's a common theme. It's not even rapper specific, but any artist, like, you listen to more outside of your scope because you want to incorporate different things. I mean, guys like Kanye, we're listening to like Lauryn Hill or like these early, like late 90s R&B singers influencing their rap with that. So it's cool that you kind of expanded your scope. You mentioned Lil Tecca as like the first album that you ever kind of heard, and I was just curious, like, is he one of your inspirations or like models? Because when I listen to your music, I like to just see, I'm like, oh, they sound like this person or this, which I guess maybe is kind of a bad thing to do. You sound like Stevie, but is Lil Tecca like one of the sounds you're going for? And what kind of, because rap has a lot of genres, so what kind of genre would you say, maybe more specifically, your rap falls into?
Okay, wow, that's a little loaded.
Sorry, that is a lot. Just
No,
answer.
I'm with it. Okay, so I feel like my early stuff, I was definitely trying to copy that album. And for even some of my new music, you can hear like, okay, he still hasn't like quite gotten out of that habit yet. But I think I blend a little bit of everything. Like I have a song called Nosebleeds, and my buddy, and he's like, not quite my manager, but I'll take him with me to shows, and if anybody asks, yeah, that's my manager.
Okay.
But yeah, he hates the song, but it's my first attempt at doing like a kind of pop sort of rock sort of deal. Completely different from all of my rap stuff. And I think I've just been trying to dig into different pockets and see what I can make. I like pulling from everything, and I think rock is a big thing that I want to pull from in the future, for sure.
Mm-hmm. What have been your favorite alternative albums so far that you've gotten to listen to?
Favorite alternative album? That's a lot to ask me. I think one album that really, really shaped who I've become as a writer since getting to college was Dominic Fike's Sunburn.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Do you know who Dominic Fike is? Okay.
Oh,
No.
good.
There's kind of a running joke, not a running joke, but
It's not
every
a
episode it seems like there's a really popular artist that he doesn't know, so I just had to interrupt but okay. Anyways, continue. Keep going.
You are
This is my
familiar.
version of Sheltered.
But yeah, he does. I would say it's like alternative pop-ish sort of vibe, indie pop, if that makes sense. And my buddies showed me his music like the first week to month into my freshman year here at MTSU, and that's been one of my favorite albums ever since, just because I have so many like memories of listening to the album with those people that really liked it, and then going on to like the album because I like thinking about those times, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that makes sense. I have albums that I correlate or like I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but like you just relate to like certain eras of your life that are like, oh yeah, this album reminds me of this time, or this album feels like summer, or things like that, I guess. But
Like I'm sure both of y'all have an album that like, I don't know, do y'all have like an album that reminds you super hard of like your family? If that makes sense.
okay, not necessary. Yes,
Artist.
this doesn't remind me of my family specific, but it just reminds me of being like a younger kid, like I would say just being a teenager kind of, but like the American Teen album by Khalid.
Okay.
I just
that.
absolutely love that album, and I think it was his best, but that album always reminds me of just like summer and like being a young kid, and I listened to it a ton, and it was just like he was 18 at the time, and I was like 16 when it came out, I think, maybe 15. So it just always reminds me of like growing up around that time and what I would listen to in the summer, hanging out with my friends, or going like on vacation with my family. I always go on like a summer vacation with your family. So
Yeah.
I would say that's
you?
mine.
I feel like in terms of albums, that's a bit harder to pin because my mom mainly listened to contemporary Christian music pretty much, almost like only. But my dad's super into like funk and ska music.
Okay.
So that was like he pretty much only listens to like ska and like reggae and like these really niche punk bands. And so I guess when I think about my family, I think of like Five Iron Frenzy, I think of the Avett Brothers, I think of Elevation Church or worship, and just kind of like a medley of just things that I used to hear because it was limited in terms of bandwidth, but there was a lot of diversity. And I also was playing classical piano at the time, so there was like, you know, 3 different kind of elements, like alternative contemporary Christian music and classical music, that all kind of blended until I got introduced to Bruno Mars by my cousin on the golf cart and like 4th of July weekend in like 2015. So I don't know if that answers your question quite there, but yeah, I've kind of all around the place. Yeah.
Okay. I could definitely like conjure up images in my head of like where I was listening to like this or that elevation worship song. Same for Khalid. I don't know if y'all were here like on campus whenever he played at MTSU. I think that might have been.
No, I wasn't, and I think about that a lot actually, like how sad I am that I missed that concert.
That's so sad. Dude.
Although I'm not a big fan of his new stuff, if I'm being honest. Like only that American Teen and what's the one album, American Spirit or Free Spirit or something like that. Those are the only 2 albums that I ever really liked. I don't know. His new stuff's not my favorite.
I get that. It was a really cool opportunity. I got to do a little bit of behind the scenes work at that show. It was literally just like ushering people in, but I got to like see dude in passing like through a hallway. So I'm like in the room and he's like walking by and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Khalid. And yeah, I think I have the little like tag that said VIP on there just for ushering people in.
Dang, I would keep that forever, yeah.
Yeah, it's a memory.
That's a great memory. What's another concert that really sticks out to you?
Okay, concert that sticks out to me. Man, okay, cool. It's where I got this hat. There's a Christian rap group called Indie Tribe, and they do a festival out in Nashville every year. It's called Smoke Fest. And I went in 2023 because that's when I came to MTSU for the first time. And it was like a week or 2 before I moved in. And I went with my mom and my little brother. And it was such an emotional experience for me because I'd been listening to those artists for most of my, I won't say most of my life, but like most of my teen years, we'll say. And it was really cool being able to like see people doing what I wanted to do on like a big stage. And I was like, okay, if they can do it, if they can make a way for themselves out here, maybe I can do that in the future too.
I'm just curious, what do you see for yourself in the future in terms of aspirations? What's your wave? Like if you could write it out on a piece of paper, what would that be?
Okay. When we're saying aspirations, do we mean like music-wise, like sonic-wise, or do we mean like vision-wise?
I guess whatever you would think that would like, you think that is your peak evolution, like whatever would be like, this is what would allow, like whether it be a sonic growth or a potential like mainstream status if you want to have a platinum record even. Like what are like bucket list things for you?
Okay. Okay, cool. I will say I don't think, I don't know, at this point in my life, I think I'm starting to like, not curb my expectations, but I guess shape them a little bit more. So to say, oh, I want a platinum record, that feels super daunting and it feels a little bit out of my control as of right now. But I think that the thing I want to do is I want to be someone that's so entrenched in what they do that it becomes a little bit of who they are. So I want people to meet me and then them already have a little bit of a vision of what my music sounds like, or well, maybe not what it sounds like, but a little bit of what I'm about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel that a lot of artists just suffer from an inability to communicate effectively through whatever means they have in front of them, and that's why they turn to music as a way of doing something that people can't understand. And I want to be a more effective communicator inside and outside of the music. I want to be what's on my mind rather than just my music is what was on my mind at that time.
You want your art to reflect your integrity and your values as a person?
Yeah, I want my life to imitate my art. Or rather, yeah, I want
really
it to be
like
a little
that.
bit of a circular loop, like my life to imitate my art and my art to imitate my life, and for all of those things to be connected. If that makes sense.
Awesome. All right, guys, well, sorry to cut it off. I hate doing this, but we do have to take a quick break, and so we'll be right back.
Yo.
Sorry, I hate
30
that
minutes,
I hate that I gotta cut that off.
No,
But
you're chilling.
that just felt like a good time. Here, we'll play the Chris Farley because you said.
How do you feel when you listen to it?
Well, they could hear it too. The audience on Twitch.
No, sure.
With a pretty new pet.
Sounds like you like that station. I bet you'd be upset if you didn't get to hear it. So how do you feel about those other radio
What's his
stations?
name? Sterling. How you doing? Good. Anything you want to talk about specific while we got a break?
Okay, yeah, we can talk about one of my favorite songs. It's called Inside's Green.
Yep, cool. I got that written down to talk about. Awesome.
Okay, cool.
My mom is wondering.
Ooh.
She wants to know about the origin of your name.
Okay.
Like where you got your artist name.
That's something that my mom actually has had a lot of reading on her.
You're good. Keep talking.
Yeah,
we're
Our
live on
mics are-
stream.
Yeah, we're live on Twitch.
But we're not on the radio. If you
radio.
want to wait, we can wait until we're back to live on the radio.
Okay.
Yeah. Either
but
way, it'll end up in YouTube
That's one of
video
the. That
and
was the
Spotify
question
video.
my mom
Okay,
asked.
cool.
Was,
But yeah, the name, wow. I've had so many people come up with so many different explanations as to what they think it is, and the answer is, it's so much simpler, and it's kind of, I thought it was kind of dumb when I was like coming to college. I was like, this is a little, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this, but as I like get a little bit further into my own bag per se, I like it a little bit more.
in my bag.
So
Like you grew into it a little bit?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I came up with the artist name when I was like 12 when I started
Dang, that
making
young.
music.
Wow.
Yeah, and I haven't changed it once.
Really?
So,
Nice.
Steven and Ghost, I wanted to sound like a band, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
So me and my sister did music together, and we went under the name, I think, Girl and Dreamcatcher, if that's correct. I think it is. And
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off. I got to do the concert calendar when I come back, and we are back in 4 seconds.
Okay.
But I will
circle back.
cue you right into talking about that. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, we are back from break, and we got a couple concerts coming up. We got the Match Showcase. Match is a MTSU record label, student-run record label. That's going to be April 16th at Canary Hall at 7. And then we have Brian Belansky at the Commodore Grill April 5th at 6 p.m. and John Craigie April 4th at the Exit Inn at 8 p.m. Feels kind of crazy to say April right now, but it is April Fool's Day. So if you guys are just joining us, we are here and we're back. We're here with Steven and Ghost. And during the break, we were talking about how he got the origin of his artist name, Steven and Ghost. And he was telling us that it's been the same name pretty much since he was 12. And he was just talking about how he had a band with his sister when they were younger. So,
yeah, me and my sister had a band called Girl and Dreamcatcher, and that one just wasn't gonna stick. I didn't like it as much. And then we went by Voicemail, and I thought that was a pretty cool band.
that is a cool name. I like
Yeah,
that.
we did like singing and beatbox videos during like 2020, and then I was like, I still want to sound like a band, but I understand that it's just me doing stuff. And so if I call myself Steven and Ghost, there is somebody else mentioned, but it's still, I'm the only part that you really see. So I do a lot of like collaboration and whatnot with other people. I take a lot of like inspiration from other people. So it sometimes feels like I'm not the only one doing my music. So I can't prove it, but it is still Steven and Ghost.
Awesome. What have been your favorite collabs so far?
Favorite collab? Okay, I did a song in 2023 with a couple of my friends. It was an artist called, his name now is Jeff Oda Kid, also an MTSU student, super talented guy, and another student that goes by the artist name J-Doc. And I met these guys my freshman year. I was super new to everything, and I hadn't released any music like on streaming platforms, and they had both done it before. And so when they heard some of my freestyles, they said, we want you to do music with us. And I was stoked. People liked me. So I got in the studio with them. I started recording these songs, and I made this one song called Friends. Friends is now standing at, I want to say, 12,000 streams on Spotify.
Heck yeah.
And it was just my first real success like on streaming platforms. and nothing will ever match the feeling that I got there. It was a beautiful thing.
Nice, man.
I imagine.
Do you track your streaming? Like, you don't give me the vibe that you just seem to love like making art and making music so much that I don't really get the vibe. Like, you don't seem like you track your streams, or you're really worried about how well, like, oh, this song didn't perform well, or so and so. Like, you just seem to love putting out your stuff, and you don't really care about like what other people think. And is that true, or?
Oh yeah. I would like to be a little bit more, I guess, professional about the music, because it is a career. It is something to take professionally. But for me, I really just love the process of making music. So for every song that I've made, there's probably like 10 songs, not even 10, maybe like 20 fully fleshed out songs that will never see the light of day. And so when I release something, it's like, oh man, I'm super excited for it in this moment. I want to push it out. I want people to see the full vision for it. But no, I'd still do this if nobody listened. And I did that for a really long time.
Oh yeah.
So it's not a hobby, it's a passion rather than a hobby. And it's, I like letting people see it sometimes.
I like that. I agree. Like, a hobby is something you pick up to do. Like during COVID, you pick up like trying to learn Spanish as a hobby, or like knitting as a hobby. But a passion is something more, like you said.
Knitting's crazy.
You wanted to, I don't know, just I feel like that's something like, that's a hobby when I think hobby. But people, but this is your passion, and so you're turning your passion into your career, and you seem driven, you're dedicated, and kind of the same with this show. Like, I don't care if 0 people are listening or 1,000 people are listening. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. And I know that's how Dixon feels too. He's doing it because he enjoys it. So it's good to take your passions and just do it for you, not do it for other people. Just do it for yourself even.
That's the beautiful part of it all.
Yeah, there's nothing that gets me more excited than to click the upload button on YouTube or Spotify or where else, just because it's like, I view my vlogging, the, different multimedia things that I put out on YouTube and various platforms, like, that's kind of a bit of me and a bit of my identity. And so, like, I'm kind of investing in this, and I'm wanting to show people that, like, not only the care and the effort that went into the video and the project, but just like to see that, like, there's passion in it, and I think that people are drawn to it. So, like, I don't know, everyone's passion is inspiring, so thank you for sharing yours, man.
Dude, thank you. I know I definitely should release a little bit more if I want, like, consistency in that space. But as of late, I've been doing a little bit of short form talking content, at least about the things I see in this world, the things I think about. That's
Do you care to share some of those?
Okay, sure. One thing that got a little bit of traction online was me talking about conventional versus unconventional in terms of attractiveness. And so I said, if there's conventionally attractive and there's unconventionally attractive, then it deems the point that there has to be a conventionally unattractive and an unconventionally unattractive. And that was a video I posted on TikTok, and it got a couple million views. And
wow,
I think that was just people talking to each other about their thoughts on it. And yeah, I don't think I'm super, like, difficult to find online. So when I'm not doing the music, you can still hear the things that I say, because I don't know, I have a lot going on up here. I need to get it out somewhere.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Do you expand outside of music? Like, do you do other stuff outside of that short form content? Was that your first introduction into doing something that wasn't music in terms of putting yourself out there?
So I originally wanted to do a podcast. It was called Awkward Conversations with My Sister in 2020.
That's funny.
But I couldn't really stick with it in the same way. And I don't think that I had enough to talk about, being that I was, like, still at home. I was still homeschooled. So there wasn't, like, enough outside stimulus for it to be that interesting.
I mean, the Amish guy is going completely viral on Instagram.
Really?
There's this Amish kid that, like, got his little, bit of freedom, and so he's like, they have ice cream coming out of metal, and, like, just saying things that are, like, kind of sheltered and shell-shocked. buy it all, but like it's very entertaining, and he's just like completely enthralled with modern society, and like you see an Amish kid in a strip club, and his face is priceless. Holy cow.
Wow. I think I would pay to see somebody's reaction to that. That's wild.
Yeah, I think that's why he does.
I mean, you weren't that sheltered though, were you?
I definitely.
Maybe. I mean, you could. I'm just curious.
I definitely didn't do anything like that when I was homeschooled.
No, but like.
Like he got
You weren't
free, and like
sheltered,
once he was on his own, like he went and started exploring the world in every sense of the word.
Were you homeschooled until you were 18?
I did UMS model schools a little bit, so that's university model. I think that's the abbreviation. But I would do like classes once a week in middle and high school. So that definitely like, it kept me normal for sure.
Okay.
As normal as one can be in that space.
Yeah, no one's normal.
Did you go to co-ops and stuff? Like I used to go to co-ops and like classical conversations when I was younger.
Yeah, I had some friends that did classical conversations. The one that I went to was like along that same lines. It was the same sort of model.
Nice.
Yeah. So I wasn't like not talking to people. I wasn't that out there.
Do you have any, well, now I'm curious, do you have any awkward conversation topics? Like what was awkward conversations going to be, or what were these awkward conversations?
Oh, it was so underwhelming. I think the awkward conversation was the fact that I didn't know how I was going to make a podcast. I didn't have like a plan. So again, it was in 2020, so I was just recording just to be recording. I feel like now I see enough in the world to never really run out of stuff to talk about, because stuff keeps happening.
Yeah, no kidding.
Amen.
Yeah, it'll always keep happening. But was that your first introduction to recording? Like, did you buy like an audio interface for that, or you didn't buy anything because it never took off?
No, I had a little. It was the USB microphone. And so it's the one that you plug straight into the computer. So I had no real frame of reference for any of like, I guess we'll say like professional recording equipment.
Yeah, it was all like consumer grade stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had this stuff that like just wasn't super high tech. And from there I got to like understand how microphones work, and then I like finally like got towards a point where I was using like, we'll say a little bit higher grade stuff. So I understood what an interface was from like actually figuring out that I needed one. And
Cool.
What's your gear setup right now? Like what interface do you have? Your mic, your headphones, like your listen back? I'm interested in it all.
Okay. For right now, my headphones have been Audio-Technica for a little bit. I think that I just see that super often, and so I'm like, okay, that's kind of brand standard-ish. And then for my microphone, I use an AT-2020. I'm gonna eventually like move on and probably get like a Shure in the future. I like the way this one sounds.
SM7DB.
Yeah, the SM7B, I got to use that for one of my studio classes, and I was like, man, this is what you see in like all the real stuff.
It's something else, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's lovely.
That's like the number one mic on the market. I mean,
in
general, like that's cool.
Every YouTuber has it. Every like podcaster, like it's a popular microphone. I think that's the next step.
I'm surprised we don't have them here, but we're blessed with these RE20s.
For sure.
Or the RE20s that work. Yeah. But
MTSU has such a variety. I think that's the one of the beautiful things that brought me here. Just like walking into the Bragg building and seeing like the MIDI lab, hearing about the studios that I've just now like gotten to actually use. And I was like, man, like there's so much stuff here to use. Like it's crazy. Yeah. It's just opportunity out here.
Are you completely self-taught? Like I had no idea what an XLR cable was until I went to my recording program before coming here.
Okay.
Yeah. What was your experience like in terms of that introduction to pro audio?
Lots and lots of YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's a big. Who do you watch on YouTube?
Okay, I was watching a lot of making of videos. So like I am a really, really big John Bellion fan, and he has a really interesting style. And so back in like the times when I was like getting into making music, I would just watch what he did. And he was in like a full recording studio. So he had a little bit cooler technology than me, but I was like, okay, I can kind of get a feel for what he's doing. And then like as I started like getting more serious about it, I was like, okay, I need this part right here. I need to like use this piece of technology. And so I think my first piece of like music technology was a drum pad. It was like an MPK. So it was like the little box with little buttons
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
I want an MPK. I've been looking at some, so that's pretty sweet.
And from there, I did everything. I played my bass on there, which, can you imagine like trying to play the bass on like a box? Like,
I cannot do pads like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you use like FL, Ableton, Pro Tools even? Did you dive straight into Pro Tools?
No. I started with GarageBand. And so
Nice.
from the ages of like 10, 12 to like 16, it was GarageBand. So I have like, it's not a good project, but I have a couple of songs that are made completely on GarageBand.
I mean, Suicide
GarageBand.
Boys made some GarageBand songs and then dropped them on Spotify. So
Same for Steve Lacy. And yeah.
No Steve Lacy.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Another really good indie artist to pick up.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Oh, let's see.
Are there any people in the chat that have questions?
Yeah, do we got any comments, concerns?
Prayer requests?
No, just some weird bots.
That's funny.
Cool. Guys, if you're listening, I've got some questions about what's going on with the Micah cam. Micah is sick, unfortunately, and we don't have a solution to the Micah cam, but so yeah, anyways, that was just one of the random questions in the chat, but so unfortunately, yeah, Micah's sick, but you wanted to talk about your song Inside's Green.
Yes.
And how, like you said, music's been a part of your life ever since you were little, and so now you're here, you're exploring your passion and you're driven to just explore it more. So how does Inside Green, just tell us about the song, really.
Okay, so I've made music a certain sort of way for a really, really long time. But once I actually moved out of my home, moved out of the dorms, I was really just kind of on my own. That's when stuff started getting a little shifty, and so I was facing rent for the first time, real rent, and I was man, the world is so different the world is super different outside of campus, really. I felt really on my own, and I was man, I gotta make something happen. I gotta become something. And so Inside's Green is kind of my ode to that, if that makes sense. And I've had a lot of people ask about the title. And I feel the same thing for my own artist name. Inside's Green is just not something you hear super often. But me and my brother, we used to play basketball together. He's 6 years younger than me. And whenever we would make a shot, we would say, oh, it's green. And so the Inside's Green to me, sorry, I didn't mean to touch that. Inside's Green to me means essentially that I'm all good, that I've got it. I feel self-assured of myself. And so having moved out, being for real deal on my own, I guess, getting that sense of I feel I know what I'm doing, or even if I don't, I feel I'll figure out what I'm doing soon enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel you have to have that perspective and just mindset of being able to pivot. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to have success. That was one of the big points that I talked about at my high school when I went on spring break. Unless you're able to pivot, and often even at last minute, there's no way that you're going to be able to skirt through life without any obstacle and have time to skirt around that,
Yeah.
What other obstacles have you found that have made you kind of forced you to grow up,
Really, I feel being a rapper out here, being a rapper that was homeschooled itself was a huge thing that was okay, right? I need to figure myself out. Because I would meet up with people and I'd be oh, you're a rapper, I'm a rapper, let's talk about music. And then they're talking about older rap, they're talking about 90s, 2000s. I think the first person that really talked to me about it very were talking to me about, I want to say like Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm not sure if you know who that is.
I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar. Strike Two.
I know who they are.
Yeah, a little bit of an
Bone Thugs.
older rap group, and their sound inspired a lot of the artists that inspire a lot of what I do. And so I was talking to them about it. I was like, oh, I've never heard that. And they were like, dude, what? You're a rapper. You should know the history of the music that you make. And that opened my eyes. I was like, that's crazy. I need to figure out like where this music that I'm pulling so much from actually like comes from. And so that forced me to like go back and like get a sense of foundation as to like what are my big inspirations of old, if that makes sense. Yeah.
That's cool. Anyone you found? Any favorites?
As of right now, I don't think that they're super old. I don't even think that they're that old. Like, but I'm from Atlanta, so I really like Outkast.
Nice.
I've been listening to a ton of them for the past couple years, and yeah, it just gives me a little bit of a sense of belonging, if that makes sense. So I can trace back. I do rap. I'm from this area. These are the other people that have made it out of this area doing the same genre that I do.
Nice.
And that makes me feel a little bit more self-assured as an artist.
Yeah, you're from Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Atlanta's like a breeding ground for rap. I mean,
yeah.
at least in the current decade, like since the last decade, but it's definitely a breeding ground of rappers right now.
Oh yeah, Future and all of his.
I wanted to ask you what you think about Future, like.
Love Future.
Right.
Yeah, Future's my goat, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's some of my music that came out in the past year. There's a song specifically called Solid, and I think that one, which it's out on streaming platforms, but that one I feel like was my rendition of what I guess it was me trying to be Future in a sense.
Steven and Future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Steven and Ghost, or Future as played by Steven and Ghost, if that makes sense.
I like that better, yeah.
Okay, once again, sorry to cut it off, but we got to take our last little break here, and we'll be right back with Steven and Ghost. Okay, sorry, I got to do this. They get on me about like being late, but okay.
How's the FCC gonna?
Is Future your favorite Atlanta artist?
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you who my favorite Atlanta artist is.
What do you think of Migos?
I really do like the Migos.
Yeah.
My most recent song, my most recent song, called Hat Trick. I made that one off of listening to, I'm not sure if you're familiar with each Migo by name, but Offset had an album called Kiari, I want to say.
Yeah, dude, I love that album. That's a great album.
That was a big album for me all throughout that year. Yeah. And so I was doing a hip hop and R&B songwriting class, and we were looking at different artists that were like looking for writers and beats, and I saw some artists that reminded me of that, and I was like, I wanna do a song that's like my version of what could be on that album.
Yeah. Nice.
Who's your favorite Migos member? I'm a sucker for Offset.
I would probably have to say Offset. I really like Takeoff's music. I haven't listened to enough of it to say like that's my favorite.
R.I.P. Takeoff.
R.I.P. Takeoff for sure.
Yeah, Quavo's the worst. I think I think that's just kind of like everyone just, not the worst, but like,
I don't know.
I think he's the front man, but like, I don't know, he's more flashy. Someone in chat asks if when you were hooping and you would make a shot, would you say Irish Spring Green Green? Are you familiar with Irish Spring Green Green?
I love Irish Spring. The soap?
Yeah, there's, what's his name, dude? There's a YouTuber, he's a 2K YouTuber, and he would shoot and he would say like Irish Spring Green Green. It's, it's Flight. Why am I,
That'd
Flight?
be something that like my little brother would know. But
Flight, yeah, it's Flight. I'm sorry, I know it's Flight. They're yelling at me now.
We're sorry, Flight.
It's Flight.
They're saying DS2 is Future's best album. I agree. I think DS2 is Future's best.
True. But like Dirty Sprite 1 has some like amazing songs. Like the first 2 tracks on Dirty Sprite 1 are like bangers.
Okay, I'm gonna cue us back and then we'll be lit.
Alrighty.
Was I even? Okay. All right, guys, that was our last little break. We got about 10 minutes here, and if you're just joining, we're here with Steven and Ghost, just kind of talking. We were talking about his song Inside Green and his latest song Hat Trick, and he's got a sequel to Inside Green coming out, and I think it's, Inside Green was something you said you put like your heart into, and it kind of just reflects on your life, and so you've obviously changed, so how does this next rendition of Inside Green, is it going to change? Is it going to show this new era of your life?
For sure. So Inside Green, sonically, I took like a guitar and I did like some sort of, I chopped it up a little bit, and it sounds a little bit hyper poppy in some spaces, just because that's a lot of what I was listening to. But with this next couple songs, I want to continue like the green.
Oh my gosh, you're like.
Oh, we're on?
Yeah, you're good.
Cool.
No, you're good.
I want to continue like the green iconography, just because I feel like it really encapsulates a lot of what I'm about. Like, hence the real tree. Y'all can't see it, but I'm wearing real tree camo. You can't even see me. But yeah, I want to continue down that line of just like talking about my life, talking about a little bit of the stuff that's been going on around me, and how I face adversity, how I find a sense of self in, I guess, this life.
Outside of having to deal with like facing rent for the first time, what other adversity have you faced?
Oh my gosh, I recently, I feel like just being, so I told you I'm originally from Atlanta, so I'm a good little ways away from home, and once I like signed my first lease, that was, this was home for a while, more so than the dorms, I think. And so I, for the first time in my life, had that feeling of like, man, like this is my home, this is where I live. And so I have a line in the song where I say, I'm the man of the house, but I'm somebody's son. Kind of hitting that duality of like, man, I was in my parents' house, I was living with them, I was under that roof, and now in Tennessee, because I don't really have any family out here, it's just me, it's all me. And so I think that sort of sense of personhood and that that source of identity all like came all at once for me, I think, especially being homeschooled. So like personality was super shaped by what I had back there, and now the whole world is in front of me, and I'm still in the process of like solidifying who I think I am.
Do you think that your little self would have seen where you are now? What would that little you have to say, you know, like at 10 years old, if he got to meet you then, you know, and get to see where he would become, you know?
I don't think I'd be surprised. I don't think you would be, so I started this about 10 years old. I don't think 10-year-old me would be surprised that me at 20 is still making music, because what else were we gonna do? We got so much feeling and so much emotion and no way to communicate it.
Right?
So I think that I wouldn't be surprised that I'm doing it. I think I would be surprised at how much I've progressed and how much like I know about music these days. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Me then was listening to like Lil Tecca, and that was all I had for reference. And now, even in my own music, I've made music in more genres than I knew at the time.
Man, that's such a glow up.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing. There's no way to, but I would like to talk to little me just to be like, hey, we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I see people, they do like the little like letters to yourself in the future kind of thing or something, but it's funny. I feel like I don't know, I never thought I'd be right here right now, I guess. But like, I've just had a lot of different chapters in my life, so it's cool that even from a young age, man, you just knew what you wanted to do, and you've always just loved this music so much, so.
Oh yeah, it's always been me.
Anything else coming out like that we can expect besides Inside? Was it going to be Inside Green 2?
No, this one's gonna be. I think this one's gonna be called. Really, I have no idea just yet. We'll save that one, but it's definitely still gonna have green in it. But one thing that is coming up, you know, on that radar, is it's a song called Emerald Green, and this one isn't fully my song. I'm making it with a couple of buddies, which, you know, they'll say when it's time. But I'm working with some other people, doing a lot of collaborations, so I don't think that I'll necessarily say green every time that I'm like heard on other people's projects, but you'll still get a little bit of sense of, okay, he's still on that same path, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Do you still produce all of your own stuff? Have you started to collaborate with like producers and stuff on campus?
Yeah. Okay, it's a little interesting of a history. So I started the songs that I collaborate with. I rarely make the beats for, and then I started making my own beats for a couple of my songs, and then I started getting super close with the producer. Still close to him, super great guy. And me and him made a couple of different songs that came out. But for my last couple songs, they've been all produced by me.
Nice.
I got my start producing my own stuff, so I want to. I feel the only way to properly communicate my artistic vision would be to make it myself.
Amen.
Oh yeah.
I feel like my songs are my diary, and so, I mean, I'm terrible at producing beats and everything, but I just like take the time to get a little better at, every day. I mean, maybe it'll, like, I feel like I can properly communicate myself with piano, but that's like an improv, like me just playing around, purely emoting, but to be able to layer it in a way that comprehensively amplifies the ambiance and the vibe of the music that I'm trying to like use to express myself in words and adjectives and symbolism, what have you. I just feel like, it's a thing that I'm still working towards every day.
I feel like the improv in itself is it's the artistry, if that makes sense. And I'm kind of like coming up with this, like, I'm trying to be super profound on the spot, and it's not communicating well.
You're good, dude.
So we like to have little philosophy sections every show, so.
Oh yeah.
My bad.
The most philosophical rapper since Andre 3000.
Heck yeah.
But he's part of Outkast. I want to put that out there.
Yeah, you know Outkast?
I thought Outkast was an individual person.
All right. Well, we'll work on that.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the improvisation is. I feel like it's part of the expression. Your knee-jerk reaction, the first thing that feels natural to do musically, I feel is your first self. And part of who I'm trying to be, part of this whole green iconography is trusting my first self, trusting my instinct. And I think it's a beautiful thing seeing what people gravitate to, because that's like the rawest version of them.
Nice. All right, guys. Once again, sorry, but it's already been an hour. Feels like these hours fly by, so that's
They truly
Definitely.
do.
all our time here on the radio. SoundCheck is also live on Twitch.
Thank you for
Twitch
tuning
TV,
in on Twitch.
SoundCheck
Thanks,
show.
guys.
Probably continue the conversation over there with Steven. But that was SoundCheck here with Steven and Ghost. And where can everybody find your music?
All streaming platforms. I'm really on everything. My short form content would be under the title Stevie No Wonder. That's there whenever. And yeah, Steven and Ghost is wherever music is streamed.
All right, Steven and Ghost. It's all one word, and Steven is with a PH. So,
Yeah.
But that's our hour, and we will see you guys next week.
Alrighty, thank you so
Yo.
much.
Okay, we can keep talking on here, though, as much as we want.
Yeah.
I just have to cut off the hour there because we got a strict little schedule, I guess. Let me make sure this is
Well,
mine.
that makes sense.
But, let's see.
Yeah. Did the chat have anything to say? They have anything that they'd like to know?
My mom says she likes listening to you, and you seem very creative. She also says that when Cardi says it's the first of the month, like in Sky, that's a Bone Thugs and Harmony sample, so it always makes her think of that.
I love that. A funny callback. In Inside's Green, my first line is house paid off. I got it again like the first of the month.
Nice.
I loved I like the callback, and it's really cool seeing somebody recognize it.
Yeah. She, I guess she's a Cardi fan. She's only a Cardi fan because I forced her to listen to it in the car, but
That's
Hilarious. I was gonna ask how that happened.
no, she probably knows more Cardi and Uzi songs than she would recognize, but I played a lot of it in the car, so.
I think my mom hates Cardi. I think I played her like one song.
That's funny. My mom has no idea.
Oh, they said they can't hear us. Oh, no.
Are we on?
Okay, hold on.
on.
Let me do this.
Hello.
Oh, no, April Fools, bruh. No, that's, bro, okay. That was fucking good, bruh. That was
really
good, bruh. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought he couldn't.
Dude,
We were
you're
having
genius.
mic issues.
I was like, wait, did I have to like turn it
No,
off?
before
We
the
did
stream
not.
started, we were having mic issues. And
Yeah.
so that's
Man,
definitely fucking believable.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was dirty.
That was good. That was real good.
All right, well, whatever. We're good.
That's
Dumbass
funny.
shit, dude.
Man,
Only church would make that dumbass comment. I know you guys don't know who that is, but
I don't.
No clue.
that's my friend, Brendan, but
What's
Shout out Brendan. I think he's the guy that flamed me for not knowing who Steve Lacy is.
yeah, he is. Dude, you don't know Outkast either?
I don't really listen to a lot of like that older rap.
Yeah, that's it.
My apologies.
Yeah, but it's
I have a solid SoundCloud education.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
a beautiful thing, too.
I had like started listening to like rap, I guess, consistently in like
It was church.
that 2016 era.
Yeah.
And so as I started listening to things that weren't purely mainstream, I mean, I kind of just delved into the world of Lyrical Lemonade, and then that was my taste for like all of high school. And so I still like, Elton John was my first show, and so that's a special thing for me, but Lil Yachty's the best performer I've ever seen in terms
Love
of like being on a mic with energy and like making a crowd mosh. Like, it was just a super fun environment, super upbeat, and I don't know. Something about the diversity of it all made it more special because it was like we're all so different. We obviously have so many different backgrounds, but we're all coming together so tightly knit.
Oh, yeah.
And so
There's
that's
nothing
fun.
that'll like bond you with somebody like being at a concert.
Right.
Because like that's where you really, really see how much somebody likes something.
Right.
And
Unless you get weird interactions. I've had some weird interactions with people at
Oh,
concerts,
yeah.
but
like you have like the sweetest artist ever, and then you'll have like the worst fans.
yeah.
Sometimes.
Me and my friend got in trouble. We went to the Tyler concert.
See, case
And
in
like
point.
Tyler's like my favorite. Like I love Tyler, and like I've been waiting for this concert forever. Like I was so excited, and just like okay, so we're at the concert, and then my favorite Tyler song is Smuckers. It's like
Okay.
one of my favorite songs ever. I just love the Cherry Bomb album, but
Dude, me too.
I didn't think he
That's-
would play it because it was the it wasn't I think it was Call Me If You Get Lost. Can't remember exactly what tour, but it was the Call Me If You Get Lost tour.
Yeah.
And he played Smuckers. At least he played like the first 30 seconds of it. And so I'm like freaking out, and I'm singing every song, like lyric, and my friend's freaking out. And this guy just turns around and he's like, "Can you guys calm down?" And I literally
That's
we
so
were just
rude.
in shock. We were like, "What the hell does like? What do you mean? Can you like?" And then
sorry,
we
are
like
we
were
not
looking
all
at
in
him during the concert, and he was just like standing there awkwardly. So, anyways, that's just kind of a sidetrack, but
Bruh.
like for the most part, people are really cool at concerts, and you meet cool people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
And then
funny
you also
you
meet
said
people like
that.
that.
Like, the reason I didn't listen to Tyler, Creator until like about 2 years ago was because there's this guy that was in my band, like he was in the percussion or whatever, and he just like, it was a really small school, so like you kind of have to interact with everybody, and so he loved Tyler, Creator, and was kind of like an uptight asshole, and so like it made me not want to listen to Tyler the Creator. And then I started listening to it, and I was like, this guy produces and raps and everything, and I'm like, this is so inspirational. So
like the music is so good, and then you get like the worst people. That's where
I think it's just because good art's appreciated by all.
that's true. I feel like there's a sphere of music that I like to call male manipulator music. That's
Like
where I
MAGA
get like,
rap. I'm just kidding.
yeah, that's
Is
it.
that a thing, MAGA rap?
Yeah.
Yes, dude. I like
Oh, God.
accidentally was
I'm glad
like
I didn't
on-
even know that existed.
I was
That's
on
great.
Vice, and like the thumbnail came up for it, and so I like kind of watched it, and like one of the famous guys, he like claims he's the mayor of MAGAville, and
Oh,
like
God.
his truck is wrapped with a like giant Trump like life-size thing on it and the American flag. And then he has a Trump dummy sitting in his passenger seat as if he's driving around with Trump. It's like really over the top. Yeah, no, he looks like a skinhead, and like, I don't know. I feel like that just gives MAGA a really bad look. But like,
Yeah, you can.
yeah, sorry for the tangent.
No, I didn't even know that was a thing. But
I think like political views aside, I don't think you get to be like, I don't know, because rap is like,
I feel like art's supposed to be about art, and like when you throw politics in, it's like having church and state to me.
Yeah, and I feel like rap has been political in the past, but I feel like tying so much of your rap to a person.
It's like then your actions are like, I don't know, tied to their lowest denominator of action.
Exactly. And so like then you lose a little bit of the art. Like when you got like NWA, that's a rap group. I'm not going to explain to you.
Do you know NWA?
I do, like with Ice Cube and the
yeah. And they do like they talked about politics, but it was like,
different. Like the fuck the police thing was like, I don't know. I feel like some things are more fitting, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think like you get in, you do the job, but like you're not over the top. Like you're there to make your point, and it's like about the art at the end of the day. And I think that everybody, if they understand that line, that's what's communicated. Otherwise, it's like...
Well, I think white people going and talking about Trump and rapping about Trump compared to, like, rappers experiencing police brutality and rapping about it is much different, too.
Very much, dude.
I just think that there's a line that you're not supposed to cross when you're rapping about Donald Trump. Yeah. Well, like, he doesn't... I can't imagine that Donald Trump is sitting there listening to raps about himself.
I really wonder if it's just for clicks. Like, I feel like there's no... I can't imagine me going out, putting on that persona, being all, you know, and, like, expecting anything good to come out of that long run. Like, what's the ROI on that, you know?
Yeah, I have no clue. I just... Again, politics aside, I just can't imagine rap music would be good about that
it's
subject matter.
Good. You don't need to watch the Vice.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
No.
I just like,
you don't
but male manipulator music, I know, like.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Brent Faiyaz, maybe, I feel like.
Brent Faiyaz. I feel like Future counts too.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
That,
unfortunately.
like, the worst people listen to excuse their bad actions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, he talks about cheating a lot, and he's like, I don't feel bad about cheating, and then people are like, oh, well.
His biggest song is about being, what's it called, a homewrecker. Like, I just fucked your bitch in Gucci flip-flops. Like,
Gucci flip-flops.
Yeah.
The tackiest flip-flops ever. I can't.
Not even the Yeezy slides?
Not even
My friend got some Gucci flip-flops, and we'd be clowning him for that. Not flip-flops, I guess they're slides, but same difference.
Yeezy slides.
Was it because of the Future thing?
No. He just... I don't know why he got them, but he just has Gucci stuff. But.
That's funny. There was a girl that got a Gucci belt in 8th grade, and like that just was like really, like everything else came from Old Navy, but she had this like $1,000 belt on her. However much they go, I've never had.
Oh, that's like my friend with the
brand.
Gucci slides. He's got like some Old Navy or like thrifted stuff, and then he's got this nice Gucci belt, nice Gucci watch.
I just don't really.
It just doesn't feel right. Like, I feel like when I wear thrifted stuff, it's gotta all be at least a little bit in that sort of, the whole fit's gotta look thrifted. Otherwise, it just feels a little, not inauthentic, but it doesn't feel like it matches.
True.
Dude, I wanted to ask you, how did the career fair go?
Oh, career fair was a great time. That was a ball. So I was there with 2 friends, and I lost track of them like 30 seconds in. I went with one person, and then they branched off and did their own thing. But it was a blast. Like, I really enjoyed talking to those people, and hopefully if it went well, somebody wants to hire me. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, Sam, it was really cool. I thought there was a lot of opportunity.
Where did y'all go? I didn't get to be a part of the career fair. I decided to go to class. It was just
right here. It was just a big thing, but yeah, I talked to like a studio, bunch of live production stuff.
Oh yeah, did you see the one? I forget what it was called. The really tall guy with the locks.
Yeah.
Where they were doing
with a J, right? He was like right here.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I talked to him. He was cool.
It was like set design. So like you go in there, you set up like the lighting, the other stuff.
Yeah, and then really I like apply because I went to apply for that, and it was like, "What's your rate of pay?" And I was like,
just say something like 25.
Really high.
Dude, $25 seems crazy. Like, I have no experience. I can't charge $25. So
then say 15.
And I'm gonna talk to one of my teachers.
Say your Jimmy John rate. I don't know.
I'm gonna talk to one of my teachers about it and be like, hey, what should I charge people? Because I guess that's a thing.
Yeah. It's dependent on whatever people are doing in your area, kind of like base it off your own price. Because my dad started doing freelance VFX recently, and that's how
everyone
he did
does what we're doing around Nashville.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more freelance people than there are companies.
For sure. Yeah. That's a big problem.
Yeah, it's like, why would I?
Well, with the studios, man, it feels like it's all around here. It's like the freelance guys, but it's these old heads that like made a lot, like over time they've had this collection of stuff to make their own studio, and so they do all the freelance work, and it's like, well, come work in my personal studio, or or they rent out like major studio kind of things.
I've worked with some of those people. There's some guys that are audio production majors just like me, and they just record students in their basement, and I'm like, that feels a little weird, just a little bit like the people that graduated waiting outside the college just to be like, hey, if you pay me, I'll do what you're in school to learn to do.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, well, I guess everyone's got to kind of start somewhere, but like, well, another question, you're from Atlanta. Do you want to move back home? Do you want to be in Tennessee?
I think that's something I'm still figuring out. The way I see it, I'll still make music wherever, and I'll still do my best to be commercially attractive wherever, if that makes sense. But it's really just whoever pays me. Like, if
that's fair.
If I get a studio job out here, why would I go back for it? Like, this is where the money's at.
No, I agree. That's fair. Just curious, like, think about that too, but I don't know. The scene out here isn't really my scene of music. Although the punk stuff or like the out here is pretty dope, but like country is just not my thing.
Nope.
I get it.
Unless I'm gonna be working with like Taylor Swift making country music, I guess I could pony up for that. But like, I'm just not a big country guy, so
yeah. I would love to intern at Dark Horse.
The rap scene is dope here, though. Like, well, at least in Memphis. Do you like Memphis rap?
I do like Memphis rap, for sure.
Yeah, nice.
That's some of my favorite stuff.
Hoping that we wouldn't, like, get into the Murfreesboro rap scene on the radio, just because, like, you
can say whatever you want now. There's no rules now.
Okay. I've had people talk about it, and they've been like, oh, so, like, who would you say are, like, the headliners of the Murfreesboro rap scene as far as, like, MTSU and, like, other surrounding cities? I'm like, truth be told, there's so much talent out here. I know a lot of super talented rappers out here, but the fact of the matter is, none of us really work together.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. Like, in the same way that...
Yeah, there isn't really a scene, I guess.
Exactly. Like, if you have a punk band out here, there's a scene for punks.
Oh, yeah, big
so,
punk
like,
scene
the punks go to... I don't want to, like, marginalize them like that. I don't want to say, like... I don't know, it sounds like a slur if you say it like that. But you got...
No, I think they like being called the...
Right,
I would like to be called that's kind of badass. Like,
I'm with it. Okay, so if you are at a punk band and you reach out to other punks and you're like, hey, show up to my punk show with your punk band, you have a market and you have your band. But, like, the rap scene just doesn't do it. And we don't, like, band together. We don't band together that much, so, like... We don't have a ton of, like, really big things.
Yeah, you say you know Jalen.
Oh, yeah. Me and Jalen did a show in September or October.
Okay, nice.
Me, him...
Did you know him before the show, or you met him at the show?
Oh, yeah, I met him freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. I met him off stuff that had nothing to do with music. I think I met him at, like, the dining hall.
Nice.
That's where I met him.
That's funny. That's
for real?
Yeah, that's how, like, I met him. He gave me a piece of pizza, asked what he was studying, and he said that he was doing music business. And so I was like, hey, I got this interview show, and I had just made the Google Forms that you use to sign up for all the guest slots. Unfortunately, slots are all filled out. But at that point in time, it was the day of.
Yeah.
And he DM'd me on Instagram, like, that night, and was like, Brody, I filled it out. And he was our first guest, so.
Dude, Jalen is super sick. I love working with him.
Yeah,
he's
super
got
nice guy.
Such a cool voice. Oh my gosh, like.
Dude, his voice, it's crazy.
So
like,
cool.
It's very Memphis. Like, it sounds very like Memphis, like, or more like that deep, like southwestern kind of like timbre to it. But like, yeah, he does have a dope voice.
Like, we were doing the show together. I'm doing hyper pop to rap, so like that was the lane that I was in at that time. I'm doing a little different stuff now. But I was like, oh yeah, I'll Poppy, like the high-pitched vocals. And then he gets out here, he's like, what's up, my name? CEO Jalen, man. I'm doing a bad version of his accent.
No, that was pretty good,
good.
actually. I thought
like,
that was good.
and I was like, oh, man, like.
Just
this is
different
professional.
vibe,
Like,
Yeah,
he sounds like he belongs there.
for sure.
Yeah, the scene is very diverse with rap around here. There isn't really a sound, like, and I've seen some stuff on like Instagram and stuff like, what's like the Tennessee rap scene like? And everyone's like, bro, there's not really a rap scene unless you're in Memphis. Like, it's kind of, or not necessarily like, not a scene, but it's kind of just like everyone doing their own thing. I guess. Like,
in the same way that like Atlanta has a distinct sound, I don't think I sound too much like it, but like sometimes I'll like catch myself doing some stuff and I'm like, oh, I sound like Future. That's the Atlanta sound. And then Memphis, like, nah, that's a sound.
oh yeah, it's like that, like super deep bass, like
3-6
fake
Mafia,
accent.
Project Pat, kind of,
Love Project Pat.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Glow. She's performing here.
I know,
right?
that's
Yeah, the
exciting.
29th,
Which should be pretty dope.
That's big. I love Glow.
Yeah, she's dope. And BK's.
Oh yeah,
BK did a lot.
I liked. Did y'all hear her song with Denzel Curry?
No, did that just come out on his new album?
I think so. I think they're forming like a rap group. Which
That'd be fire.
that's
That'd
cool.
be interesting.
I'm not big on Denzel anymore. I was for a while, but I haven't listened to him in a minute. But
Truth be told, I like him better in the past couple of years than I have. Like I heard X-Wing and whatnot, but I was like, I don't really care for.
what's
what
the
he's
album
got
with the
going on.
car on the front? It's got like Zoo on it.
Really?
I don't know, but that was like the last Denzel album I feel like I listened to.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is dope. But, oh man, what else did I want to ask? Oh, what do you like hyperpop?
I do.
Who do you listen to?
So my big three would probably be Glaive, Eric.
Dude,
Diola.
the new Glaive album.
The new
or
Glaive-
new.
The like. Are you talking
know
about
what
like his
it's
indie album or like his?
The one with the soccer player. Yeah. That album is
that one's
super
hard.
cool. I thought that album was great. I have like a couple songs off that on my I listen to, but
I have his alternative rock album. Does it count? I guess it does. His alternative album on vinyl. I've loved his music for a really long time, and I've been like, that's somebody I want to be as good as producer-wise.
Did he do a song with MGK, or am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah, I think he did.
That might be
he
my
might
only
have.
introduction to him. I think I did listen to a couple other songs by him, but yeah.
I don't even think that one. That's the beautiful thing about like being a really good producer. Like that song doesn't sound even like remotely like what the Glaive sound, I guess.
Yeah,
is.
that was like a really like, it was during like the pop punk MGK era, like in between Tickets and whatever the latter pop punk album was called. Mainstream Sellout, yeah. I should know that considering I'm a huge MGK fan, but
Dude, people clown him so bad.
I've been listening to him since 7th grade. He's fire.
I've never listened to him.
I
Not to
Fair
him.
enough,
He's,
dude.
he's like married to Megan Fox, right?
he's doing something right.
Something.
He's doing something right.
Who am I to talk?
I got into him in 2020, just hearing like more of his like pop punk stuff.
That stuff changed my life. That stuff's crazy.
I wouldn't say it changed my life, but it was interesting because I hadn't been like in the pop punk scene, and I feel like that's something that like we need to be a little bit more cognizant of, like an artist that can bring you to a genre of music. Yeah. Like I heard somebody say that Dax was the first rapper that they were super into.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I was like, what? Really?
I'm trying to think of a single Dax song at the moment. I don't know if that makes me a terrible person, but I really cannot off the top of my head.
The Joker
I
one.
couldn't tell you a full song of him, but he does the one where he's like, "You're insane, you're insane."
Yeah, the Joker
I can't tell by
one.
what you're
Yeah.
saying."
That's like TikTok.
And I'm like, that's so
That's what I
out
think
there.
of him as, is like TikTok edits.
But if that brings you to like rap, shoot, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the genre.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
To each their own, man. To each their own.
Yeah. That was kind of it, though. It was all- I
that's
don't know.
all
You got
I
anything
have
you
for
want to
today.
talk
If there's
about?
anything else?
I just got like a long list of slurs that I've been waiting to say.
Oh.
Are we clear for that?
Yeah, if you want, you can let them all out.
Yeah.
Start with the A's, okay?
Now you can say whatever
What's your
you
thoughts
want.
on the hard R?
Hard R. better than a soft R, let's say that.
I've never heard soft R before.
All right, cool.
Oh God.
Well, that's it.
This is gonna be the best edit ever.
Oh yeah. Dude, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, dog. This is awesome.
Guys, if you're still here, the Tigers fucking suck, by the way.